Howdy folks. Today let's talk about the Kiwi Ears Orchestra Lite, which I've got on video here. It's a 4K microscope in case anyone cares. That's how this looks so good. These are like about 250 monies. Not cheap. Build quality is fucking amazing actually. Like, you could sit here and trip out on this. Some things I noticed here. Let me see if I can point to some stuff. We got two big Chonger BAs. These are bass guys here. Then they go up into a nozzle. And it has two dampers on the nozzle. That's an interesting thing I've never seen before. Then we got a couple more probably mid BAs. Looks like four. This is an 8 BA set. Eight of them. And here's something I did notice, which is that the treble ones here are labeled Kiwi ears. And that to me means these are probably not brand name Sanyan or Knowles, because if they were, then why wouldn't they put or leave the logos on? I'm not sure. Anyway, let's look at this. That's Knowles. See that Knowles logo right there? 22955. These are the same BAs that have been in a billion sets. I own the Moondrop A8, and they had those for bass, duals. Anyway, the build quality on these is like pretty much amazing. Moondrop style amazing. And for 250, 260 bucks, I'm going to call that a win directly. You could sit there and trip out on these, and they're gorgeous. And that's where about the nice words are going to end, almost. So let's just pop over to the graph immediately so I have something to talk about. And by the way, the track I was just listening to was Karangbin. I forget the track name, but Karangbin. Go look them up. It's a three-piece, chick on bass, dude on guitar, guy on drums. They're phenomenal. They have the most moody, atmospheric music I've heard in forever, and I'm a huge fan. And you guys got to look them up. Sorry. Okay, let's go on with this. Orchestra Lite. There's a graph. I listened to these, and in the first couple hours, I was like, these are amazing. I really like them. And then I flipped over to metal, and then it all fell apart. And that's the way a lot of stuff goes for me these days. But what I think is going on here is basically, like, if you could see my cursor right here, we got a hole in the upper mids, and then we got treble that pokes in, what is that, like maybe, it's hard to say, 5, 6K, something like that. And so what ends up happening is these are just very sharp, and they don't have enough meat on the bones for metal, and they're actually horrible for metal. They're just not good. So if you're a metal listener, just ignore these. They're not going to work for you. They do pretty well for EDM and R&B and things with like bass stuff. Reggae was like okay. It's okay. You can't turn them up a tremendous amount. And the stage is, we'll call it like maybe 7.5 or 8 out of 10. So it's pretty decent. But honestly, for an 8 balanced armature set, I do think it could be better. And I've heard other 8 balanced armature sets that are better indeed. So, unfortunately, these are not going to get a rec. And I'm kind of crushing because for the price and the build quality, they're really, really good. But that hole in the upper mids and like low treble, and then pushed up after that, that creates a problem. It's just a big problem for most of the things that I like to listen to loud. And so, unfortunately, these are not going to get a recommendation, but they're beautiful. And I've heard from other folks that Kiwi Ears has some other sets that are actually really, really good. So just to mention that, I'm not going to go too super in depth with this because of the fact that like basically probably a little less than half my library is pretty well unplayable on these. That is enjoyable for me, so that's just not going to work. And that's a bummer because they do have some really good metrics. The Twinklies and the OCDs are actually okay. It's not bad. The stage wideness is okay. It's like pretty decent. Build quality is amazing, but again, just as soon as you get into a rough track, these are going to hit you in the wrong place. So that's what I have to say about the Kiwi Ears, and I will talk to you on the next one.